Say something to your mother, even if it's goodbye.
I'm sorry. I'm busy throwing Richard away. Bluebeard.
Man trouble?
Richard's not a man. He's a two-timing, double-dealing wolf. And you know something else? I couldn't care less.
I'm glad it doesn't bother you.
Do you know who he's taking ice skating Saturday? Sue Ellen Turner. He didn't even give me a chance to turn him down.
Would you have turned him down?
Never.
Perhaps he has some special reason for taking her.
You bet he has. Her father has a sports car, and she lets Richard drive it.
I'm sure you're more important to Richard than an automobile.
A two-tone, four-barrel carburetor job with stick shift.
I lost out to a red roadster with a rumble seat.
You mean you had boy trouble, too?
Your father and I almost broke up. We were going steady, but there was a cute little blonde named Pauline who was chasing him.
She had the red roadster.
And a rumble seat. One afternoon, your father and I had a date, and he never showed up. He called that evening to explain that he'd gone for a drive with Pauline. She had driven him to the country, and their car had broken down.
What did you do?
Tore up his picture and told him I never wanted to see him again.
How did he get you back?
He wrote a poem to me.
A poem?
That's right. A beautiful love poem. I was so flattered, I married him a week later.
Oh.
You talk to Richard. I'm sure everything will be fine.
Poem. Love poems. When Love Has Gone, by Charles Worth Remington. When love has gone, love has gone. The skies cry bitter rain. The skies cry bitter rain.
Meet Cathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Cathy's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bouquets, different as night and day. Where Cathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette. Our Patty loves to rock and roll. A hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet. Still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Well, that's lovely, Cathy. What do you call it?
I don't have a title for it yet, Aunt Natalie.
How about Stardust?
You're very talented.
Thank you. I studied composing when Father and I were in England. I had to give it up when he started traveling around Europe for the newspaper.
Have you heard from him this week?
I got a letter this morning. He's in Bombay. Happy afternoon, everybody, dear.
Richard's taking you ice skating Saturday.
How did you know?
I'm psychic.
He chose you over a sports car? He's sick.
How'd you like to be a test pilot in a rat trap factory?
Boy, when I grow 6 more inches, am I gonna get you?
Sibling. How did you get Richard to change his mind? I wrote something for him.
A check.
Ross, don't you have homework to do?
No, I want to stay here. I gotta learn to protect myself from girls.
Ross.
Bye. I'm going.
What did you write? A poem.
You didn't. How does it go?
You know, just like any other poem.
Well, let's hear it.
All right. When love has gone. When love has gone, love has gone. The stars forget to glow, and laughter turns to sadder songs than we were meant to know. When love has gone, all has gone. Skies cry bitter rain for all the lovers who have kissed and will not kiss again. That's beautiful.
Patty, I'm really impressed.
It was nothing. Either you have literary talent or you haven't.
Before we have to take off like a herd of turtles, I'd like to remind you that this is the final week of the Jimmy Dean Songwriting Contest, and your entries have to be in before, or postmarked before midnight Friday. And I will sing the winning song next week on the show. Now, the winners gets a $100 cash prize, and his song will be published. So get him in here, and we'll thank the heck out of you. All right? Good.
Here's Richard. I'll be home early. Bye. Enjoy yourself. When love has gone, when love has gone, love has gone, the stars forget to glow.
Good night, Patty.
Aren't you coming in?
I can't. I promised my father I'd be home early. My uncle's visiting us, and I have to spend some time with him. And I haven't finished my geometry.
Dad's out.
Why don't we have a sandwich?
Hi, Cat. You're just in time. Listen. When love has gone, love has gone, the stars forget to glow.
She's playing my song.
Laughter turns to sadder songs than we were meant to know. When love has gone, all has gone. The skies cry bitter rain for all the lovers who have kissed and will not kiss again. Cathy, that's great. You're a real talent.
I'll say it's good enough to be in the Jimmy Dean Song Contest.
No, it's not.
You could win $100.
Money isn't everything.
Well, you want everybody to hear your song, don't you?
No. Some things are sacred. Do you really think we'd have a chance? No. Of course not. There are probably millions of entries.
What do you got to lose?
You.
What?
You wouldn't want us to commercialize our talent, would you?
I don't understand you, Patty. You usually have more angles than Sergeant Bilko. And now you got a chance to win $100 and maybe be famous, and you don't want to invest in a 5-cent stamp.
You're right, Richard. I'll mail it in the morning.
Don't bother. I'll do it for you.
No. It's my song. I'll mail it.
It's all the same postal service. Do you know what it'll mean if you win?
Do I?
Well, you'll be immortal. Like Whistler's mother. Don't worry. I'll mail this in the morning. Good night.
Rich! I've written a lot of music, but I've never had anything published. What do we do if we win? About 7 years. Cathy, we've got to get that song back from Richard. You don't like my music? I love your music. That's the point. It might just win. Then what's the matter? I'll show you what the matter is. When love has gone, love has gone. Stars forget. Patty, someone's stolen your poem. Boy, you really love me, don't you? I stole it. Patty, how could you? With my crooked little pencil, that's how could I. But I only did it to get Bluebeard back. I didn't expect it to go in any contest. Now do you see why we can't enter it? You know what they can do to you for plagiarism? No. Neither do I, and I don't want to find out. But we'll just have to tell Richard the truth. Have you ever seen Sue Ellen on ice skates? If Richard takes her ice skating, I'm sunk. I know what we can do. I'll call him and tell him I've decided I don't want my music entered in the contest. Then he'll never have to know about the poem. You've done it again. We'll call him first thing in the morning. Don't take any arguments. Just tell him you want the song back. Be firm. Hello, Mr. Harrison. This is Cathy Lane. I'm sorry to bother you so early, but I have to talk to Richard. It's urgent. It's urgent. He what? Where? Oh, I see. Thank you very much. Where's Richard? He's left. So early? He told his father he had to go to the post office. What are we going to do? 7 years. Papo? You're sort of an expert on everything, aren't you?
Nobody's an expert on everything. The good newspaper man has to know a little about everything.
I'll bet you've had a lot of interesting experiences. I mean, like, running into cases of plagiarism?
Plagiarism is a pretty serious matter, Patty.
How serious?
Well, it's a statutory offense. Plagiarists can be fined as much as $10,000.
$10,000?
And 7 years in jail.
I don't think I'm very hungry. Would you excuse me? I'm not very hungry either. What if it doesn't work? Will you stop worrying? Would I get you in trouble? Yes.
I know, it's really a great song, except for one thing. It stinks.
Mr. Kramer, it has all the qualities of 3 coins in the fountain.
It has one quality. It's all wet. No more songs today. My ulcer can't stand it.
Mr. Kramer, we'd like to take a song back.
What do you mean you'd like to take a song back?
We sent in a song for the Jimmy Dean Song Contest. That's right, and we've changed our minds. We've decided not to enter it.
Is that darling? They decided not to enter it. We've gotten over 50,000 entries. Biggest contest we ever had. You can have your little song back. We've already narrowed it down to 3 entries. Give them back their song.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Kramer. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it.
Do you want some real good advice? Don't be songwriters.
We'll find your song and mail it to you. What's the title?
When Love Has Gone.
When love has gone? That's one of the 3 that we have in the finals.
It can't be.
By Patty and Cathy Lane. That's you two, right? Which one of you wrote the lyrics? Come on, don't be modest.
I did.
Imagine someone that young writing lyrics like that. Ooh, you got real hot. It got me. Yeah. The skies cried bitter rain. All the lovers that have kissed and will not kiss again. It put me away.
Thanks, Mr. Kramer, but if you don't mind, we'd like our song back. Then you'll only have 2 contestants to worry about.
Modest. You can always tell the real pros. Really. You know, if you took your song out of the contest now, people would think that the contest was fixed. Now, you wouldn't want anybody to think something crooked was going on, now would you?
No, sir. However...
Good. Be sure to watch the Jimmy Dean show next Thursday night. Real hard.
How did you get us into this?
Me?
Yeah, you and your music.
You were the one who stole... We have nothing to be panicky about. The other 2 songs are probably great. Of course. And even if we did win, Charlesworth Remington probably doesn't even watch the program. He's a poet. He probably can't even afford a television set. Most poets are poor, broken-down beatniks. If he was famous, like Robert Frost or Carl Sandburg, we would have heard of him. Exactly. He's probably struggling along in some tiny garret in Greenwich Village, cold and hungry. If the song wins, we'll send the check back to the publisher and ask him to track Mr. Remington down and give it to him. That's a great idea. Stealing his poem is the biggest favor we could have done him. Cathy, we've taken a starving, broken-down poet and given him back his self-respect. You know what we are? We're patrons of the arts.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. The announcement of the winner of the Jimmy Dean Song Contest. And here he is with the good news, Jimmy Dean.
And I thank you. We have ladies and gentlemen, looked through thousands and thousands of songs, and picking a winner wasn't an easy thing to do. There was one song, however, that we kept coming back to.
My song.
We believe that this song is going to be a big, big one. It's the kind of a ballad that people have enjoyed for years and years.
Well, for heaven's sakes, why doesn't he give us the name of it?
It is my pleasure to introduce for the first time on TV, When Love Has Gone. Lyrics by Patty Lane, music by Cathy Lane.
Congratulations.
Do you realize that everybody down at the Chronicle is watching this, even J.R.?
Shh, I want to hear my song.
When love is gone, love has gone, the stars forget to glow, and laughter turns to sadder songs than we were meant to know. When love is gone, all is gone. The sky cries bitter rain for all the lovers who have kissed and will not kiss again.
Are you certain that old Remington doesn't have a television set in his garret? Positive.
I can't hear my song.
Isn't this exciting? There must be 20 million people listening to this song.
Perhaps 20 million and one.
Joy away when love is gone, life is gone, the world's a spinning stone that's lost in space, and we must face our journey all alone. Our journey all alone.
Listen to this. Congratulations. Have just ordered first printing of 50,000 copies of When Love Has Gone. Looks like a winner. Sam Kramer Bird Music Corporation.
Cuckoo.
Hello? I know, isn't it exciting? The phone hasn't stopped ringing all morning. Every time the girls started to leave for school, there was another phone call or telegram, so I decided to let them stay home today. How often do you become famous? Thanks. I'll talk to you later.
Who is that?
It was,
Here's an offer to do a week in Las Vegas. If you get one to go to Timbuktu, grab it. You never know when you might want to see Timbuktu. I'll get it. Hello? This is Patty Lane. It's Swing Time magazine. They want to do a telephone interview with us. Yes? How do I work? Well, it's a matter of inspiration. I mean, either you have it or you don't. I like to work in a darkened room, facing north. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of calls have been coming in, but I don't know if I want to make songwriting my life's work or not. Fame is so fleeting, isn't it? Well, I may do a Broadway show or two, and then I'll see. Would you like to talk to Cathy? She can't come to the phone right now. Oh, we'll be in all day. You can send the photographer out any time. Oh, thank you. Bye. Swing Time magazine is sending out a photographer. Can I get my hair done? Of course. I don't think you have to bother. Why not? Please arrange to be home this evening at 8 o'clock. Coming to discuss very important matter. Charles Worth Remington.
who is he?
Starving beatnik from Greenwich Village. Kind of collaborator.
serious is it, Martin?
That depends entirely on Remington. He's probably boiling mad. And he has every right to be. He's not only been cheated out of his glory, he's been cheated out of his money.
We didn't mean to cheat him.
I have a hard time proving that.
What if we gave him some money, in addition to whatever he makes on the song?
We're going to have to. It's the only thing we have to trade. We'll put his name on the lyrics and give him all the royalties and offer him a cash settlement for damages.
What if he refuses to settle?
Now, we'll face that when we come to it. He either wants money or vengeance. That could be him now. Judging by that Rolls Royce parked out there, it's vengeance.
Mr. Lane, I presume?
Yes?
I am Charles Worth Remington.
Very pleased to meet you.
How do you do?
Won't you come in, sir? Mr. Remington, this is my wife, Mrs. Lane, my son, Ross,
How do you do?
my daughter, Patty, my niece, Cathy, my dog... this is Mr. Remington.
Won't you sit down?
No, thank you. This won't take very long. I'm here about that song that was played on the Jimmy Dean show last night.
Yes, we know.
You also know who wrote the words to it.
Yes, sir. You did.
That is correct. 25 years ago.
It was all my fault. Cathy had nothing to do with it. I'm just as guilty as she is. I'm an accessory off to the fact. It was all my idea.
Just let me handle this. Now, we are fully prepared to make any restitution you ask, Mr. Remington.
Restitution for what happened last night?
We'll do anything.
You already have.
You can say that again.
I wrote that poem to a girl called Alice. She was the love of my life. We'd had a quarrel, and I wrote the poem to show her how I really felt about her. It got lost in the mail. Of course, I didn't know that. When I didn't hear from her, I assumed that she wasn't interested in me any longer, so I left the country. I went to Australia, where I started a sheep ranch. I became very rich, but I never forgot Alice. What I didn't know was that she finally did receive my poem. And she tried to call me to tell me that she loved me too. But of course, I had left by that time. She even had the poem published, hoping that I would see it. All these years that I've been searching for her, she's been searching for me too. We had just about given up hope of ever finding each other. When last night she heard my poem set to music. I heard it too. We both went to the television station. We met.
I'm going to cry.
So am I.
Alice and I are leaving on a round-the-world honeymoon trip tonight.
Then you're not mad at me?
I owe you a great deal, young lady. I came to thank you.
I told you we were doing something beautiful for someone.
I can't tell you how happy you've made us all.
Oh, there's just one thing. Alice thinks it was my idea to have the poem set to music, and she's very romantic. I don't like to disillusion her.
I won't tell anybody. What about all the money from the song?
Oh, you can do what you like with that. Well, Alice is waiting for me, so once again, thank you all. Bye.
See you out, Mr. Remington.
We're gonna make millions from that song. The first thing I'm gonna do with the money...
To set up a scholarship.
Me? A scholarship?
That's right. You were the one who was worried about struggling writers starving in freezing garrets, remember? Well, this is your chance.
That's a wonderful idea, Uncle Martin. Maybe it's not so bad at that. Patty Lane's scholarship.
The Charles Worth Remington Scholarship.
Oh. Well, what do I care? There's plenty more where that came from.
Here's Cathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find
They laugh alike.
they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins two of a kind.